Here we are in the kitchen making one of the most iconic brunch foods, biscuits and gravy. And this morning we're learning how to make a vegan version of it. And here to show us how, from Pasado Safe Haven, Chef Amy Webster. Welcome back.
Thank you. Hi, Susie.
Hi. Good to be in the kitchen with you.
Yes, this is exciting. Yes. All right, we're going to start with some biscuits. I think these are really, really easy. They're very simple. We've got some flour. Going to add the baking powder and salt. You can mix that in. I'm going to add a little nutritional yeast. This is something that's really optional. I like it for the flavor, just because it adds nutrients, as the name indicates, but it's also very, kind of gives a really good cheesy flavor. So,
so I was going to say, for vegan, this takes the place of a cheese.
Yes, yeah, it kind of makes it, adds a little bit to the biscuits, right? So we have some seasoning here, just some herbs. I use rosemary. Rosemary. I have a beautiful plant in my house, so I like to cut it fresh. It's my favorite herb and my favorite ant.
And what's the other? Is it fresh and dried rosemary?
Well, I just added some. Yes, yeah. I like to.
Both are good?
Both are great, but if fresh is really nice.
And if you use fresh, do you use less fresh than it would call for?
Yes, exactly. Right. Yeah.
All right.
Yes, exactly. It's a little bit more potent. All right, so now I've got some butter, and I'm using some vegan cultured butter. We don't want to use margarine, so if you're going to use this is a vegan recipe, so we're going to, instead of using like a margarine, which is going to be a lot more oil heavy, this is cultured milk, and so it works really well, just like a butter would. So yeah, we're cutting it in. You've done this before. This is a really loose kind of biscuit recipe, and very, very easy. So once those get to be about pea size, then we add in the liquid, which in this case is going to be an almond milk.
Okay, and does our butter need to be cold when we start?
Yes, thank you. Yes, great point.
Like a pie crust,
yes,
right?
Exactly, yes. It makes it much better. We don't want it to be melted and make it, because then they'll just be too soft. We want these little pebble sized in there. And then we're going to add
this is the what?
Almond milk.
Almond milk.
Yeah, and you can use soy milk. Oat milk I've also used. It works really well. Do you want to help scraping that off?
Yeah. And so you can use other kinds of.
Yes, for this you can.
Milk.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and one little trick, if you're making a vegan buttermilk, soy is the best, because it reacts with like the acid. You add acid to soy milk, and it kind of thickens up, makes a really nice buttermilk.
And by an acid, you mean like a lemon juice?
Yes.
Or
Yes, or vinegar. I use like an apple cider vinegar or white vinegar.
Okay,
and lemon
add that
juice
to the soy milk, and that works for buttermilk. But for this one, we just needed the almond milk. Okay.
So it's all coming together, and what we're going to do is you can just drop this onto the pan, and I bake them just like that, like a loose one, or you can use a cookie cutter, our biscuit cutter, and kind of make it, if you want them to be pretty. That's it.
Yeah. Use my fingers.
Yeah, they're very, very easy. Yes.
Okay. All good.
Yeah. Yes, isn't that nice? It kind of comes together really easy. So at home, when I'm doing this for, on the weekends for my family, I just drop them on like little kind of blobs on the pan. They bake up for like, 15, 20 minutes. That's it. So easy, right? We don't have to worry about the yeast and all that.
But if I wanted to, I would roll them out here and cut them?
Well, yes. Or,
are they ready yet?
Yeah, what I do is like just kind of drop them on. Like that.
Okay.
Like little
I'll drop them on and
rough biscuits, yes. And then we make the gravy. Yes, the gravy is amazing because, there's a lot of steps in traditional cooking that we just use in baking and, vegan cooking. So I'm melting some butter. This time I am melting it. And then I'm going to add some.
And it's the same kind of butter that we use?
Yes, the cultured. I really like that because it's a little less oil, and it comes from actual milk. So it's cultured just like dairy butter. So, and then I added the flour. And do you know what this is called when you add flour and a fat together?
Making a roux?
Yeah, roux, yeah. I know some people are not really cooks, and they might not love that term or know it, but I love it so much. So you make a nice smooth roux.
Okay, that is smooth. Okay.
Yeah.
No lumps?
Right. And then once you've got that, you might
feel my mugger right now.
Right. Get it all out. Yes, it's nice and smooth.
Okay.
And then we're going to add our liquid. So I do have some vegetable broth. I really like this. There's a lot of vegetable broths on the market.
Okay.
I really like this. Imagine the no chicken, because there's a lot more flavor there.
Okay.
So it's just one of my favorites. But if you want to whisk that, and I'm going to add some milk. So this time is also almond milk. This recipe will work really well with any kind of milk.
Okay. So again, you could use an oat milk.
And what I love to do is take a recipe that's not vegan, that's traditional, and then veganize it. Right. And I can show people that, you know what, this is going to work and it's going to taste great. Because what I think happens is we forget that it's about the flavors and the love and the techniques that we use, and the food can just start with a plant base, and then it's so much better for the environment, better for the animals, better for our health. So.
And I asked you before we started, Are there any tricks to making the biscuit that you wouldn't have to do if it weren't vegan? But really, this was
that's a really simple drop biscuit recipe. So I have already cooked our sausage, and I love. There's so many sausages on the market now too. They're plant-based. My favorite is the Light Life. This Light Life one is so good. I can get it very inexpensive at Fred Meyer. Impossible has a really good one too. But if you're short, you can't find them. If you're short, like on where you can go and access, the Beyond sausage is almost everywhere, but they come in patties, and I just break it up.
Oh,
yeah, it's really easy.
So this is smooth.
Yeah, so that's getting really smooth. So what I would do is turn the heat up. Oh, I want to add a little bit of nutritional yeast also just for flavor. And we've got salt and pepper. I go a little heavier on the pepper because my husband is from the South, and you know the biscuits and gravy from the South is a little more peppery. So we do that. And then, it'll thicken up as we heat it up and then reduce the heat. And then I just add the sausage right to it. And I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'm so sorry.
It's cooking. And then that's going to thicken up and it's done?
Yes, exactly. You get this nice thick gravy, and you've got your biscuits that are baking while you're making the gravy.
And I have it finished here. While I try this, will you tell us what's happening at Pasado?
Yes. We've got so many programs. The legislative session, we are representing the animals at the Capitol, looking at those bills. So if you ever want to know about that, you can sign up for our newsletter. We have cooking classes in Seattle now. Yes.
So once a month. What a great idea.
I think we're going through June right now. So we're, right in Queen Anne. We've got a rented space. What do you think?
I like the sausage a lot.
Yeah, isn't it good?
Yeah.
Yeah, sausage, we have to do a lot to the meat to make it flavorful like sausage. So why not do that with a base that comes from plants instead, and you can get the same flavor.
And oftentimes the biscuits kind of land. They're so heavy and that's really light. And what about what I did here? Not that I need, I need you to notice, but is that what you mean by just drop them on?
Yep. And then I pop them in the oven. I mean, I like my stone, but you can use a regular baking sheet with parchment paper. It works great.
And I like that. I know you can cut them out and make them perfect round, but why would you need to when you're going to be smothering them with delicious gravy?
Right. Well, for photos, I guess, but that's it.
Thank you so much. That was delicious.
Thank you, Suzie.
The New Day Northwest Kitchen is brought to you by Safeway.